You are welcome to another series of Introduction to Epsilon Software Solution. Today, we're going to discuss briefly how we use Epsilon Software to manage production, sales, stock, the management of production, sales, and stock. Now, for sales and stock management, some parameters has to be defined in the system. And when we say parameters in the system, we're saying those attributes that we need to define before we can start using the system. All of them can be found under general maintenance. Create. What are we creating? General ledger, the product, the manufacturer, sales code, expense code, group code, system calendar, global administration, and sales outlet. This has to be defined in this order, bottom up, because some of the parameters you are defining up depends on the one below. So sales outlet is where we define branch. In pure terms, call it branch. And these are the attributes available for branch. The most important thing here is that some of these country, region, state, local government, because they are finite value as of today, especially when we are looking at Nigeria. So those are coming cheap with the application. So the data will be cheaply with the application so that I can easily make a selection. This is just a form of standardization. Then some of those things we need to define is for each branch, which language they speak in the branch. This language is going to be useful when it comes to reporting error message or giving feedback information. So the language of the branch is what system will take as default. Then maximum password attempt is also defined for each branch. That is the number of times wrong password is allowed. Then the currency of the branch, minimum tenant, maximum, minimum guarantor. These are for lease finance business. It is not relevant in the case of production. Way away from here. After sales outlet, there we have the global administration. This is supposed to cut across branches because there's option to save whatever you have defined here and replicate all the remaining branches. Meaning that if you have 4, 5, 6 sales outlets you have defined, by the time you do the global administration, you can just replicate here instead of doing to branches one after the other. But in any case, if the parameters are going to be different, then you need to define differently after logging into each outlet what the global setup is supposed to be. Here, what do we have? We have password, which means when the user is created in this branch, whatever we enter here will be the password of that person. Initial password, that's put it that way. And what we mean by this is that whoever is creating user, we will not even know what the password is. It's only the administrator that has set up this that will say, okay, you have been created, go and use also password to log in. And that password, when you use it to log in, system will prompt you to change automatically. I mean, at first login, you change the password. Then the maximum password attempt is also defined at this global setup. This is the maximum number of times you can enter wrong password. After which system will disable you as a user. Then an administrator or security management system, user management system will need to come and enable you before you can use the system again. Withholding tax and VAT rate are relevant for lease finance business, so it's not relevant to us for today. Likewise, grace penalty, likewise, opener, para. Then this is the part that we use when it comes to payroll. Payroll date for this branch, if we have a payroll, if we have bought a payroll module of Epsilon Software Solution, then you have to set the parameter so that system will know when to generate the payroll. Then the tax method, whether it's a progressive tax or proportional tax method. The frequency of the payroll, is it monthly? Once you set it up here, when you set the frequency here, system the next time is going to generate a payroll. Then initial password log, all these ones are just automatically displayed at the beginning. The person has not logged in before, so you don't need to do anything here. There's no even field that you can enter. When you finish, like I said, if you want to this global setup to now be replicated, you use the option save and replicate, and it will be available for all the remaining sales outlet you have defined ab initio. Now, let's move to the next definition. The next definition is system calendar. This is just simply series of strings of W and H. W means working day, H means holiday. for the days of the month. Actually, we also chip in this with the application where you have the dates have been defined far ahead for you based on your calendar. You can also define further when you come here because simple, the only thing we use here is just outlet, the year, the month, then the holiday string. And then we can also replicate other outlets. So that calendar will go. Remember, we log into branch 001, which is the branch that we're going to start with. Then we can replicate what we have done here to all other branches. This branch 001. Then leave this password, the calendar maintenance. The next one is group code. Group code is where we define a code to group groups of products. When I say selected the number of products can be grouped together such that we can be seeing their entry or balances or value in one single account. So this is used to manage our general ledger and to manage our reporting. On report, you can get a report of sales, stocks, income, and whatever based on the group of products. Likewise, you can group all of them together to generate a single account that will house every entries coming in and going out of those products as a result of those products. What are we trying to say here? What I'm trying to say here is that this purpose of grouping products together only helps us in reporting and as well as managing our general ledger, what we call accounting entries. Then we also have expense code, all various expenses that we show as an enterprise. We define them here, expense code and description. Mode of expense, whether it is manual or automatic, the frequency of that expense. Those ones are defined here. We're going to use them to also in defining the accounting entry or the accounts in general ledger that will house various expenses. Expense code is used in that place. Sales code, this is the unit of sales, unit of stock, and unit of production. What I said is that whatever product we have, is it being administered in unit, counting 1, 2, 3, or is being administered in tons, is being administered in crates, and so on and so forth. We also try to define this from this place. Code name, code, and the group of products that can use that sales code out of that place. Then the next one is manufacturer or supplier. If I want manufacturing or we get products from outside for those of sale, that's for commerce now. We enter the manufacturer of that product on this form. We create all the necessary information about the manufacturer for the purpose of referencing. For any reason whatsoever, we might need any of our customer or supplier at any point in time. We have the record intact here. Because when we are defining products, the system is expected to put who is the manufacturer of this product. Maybe for the purpose of reporting, promo, it can be useful later in future. Even now, we might not be able to really figure out what usefulness will be. But then we try to gather that information before we start running our process. Then the next maintenance is the product itself. Which products are we going to be dealing with? We define the products here. Let's show you the product screen. That one has to do with giving a code, a short name, a full name, group code that has been defined earlier. Then complementary flag. If this product is just for complementary, we're not selling, we're giving it out. So this is the flag that we use. Okay, it's complementary. Then when is the starting date of the product? As when the product is available for sale. Then end date. Normally, if the product doesn't end, if not a seasonal product that will run for a promo for a period and stop, we don't have end date. The manufacturer code we have defined earlier, that's the manufacturer of the product. Sales code, the unit or operation of the product. Sales price, the price we intend to sell. If there's discount, and then the cost price. These two columns are being managed. Sorry, these three columns, discount allowed, cost price, and discount rate, they are being managed, collectively, they're managed together. Discount allowed, we make these two fields mandatory so that you can measure what the cost price is. If you enter cost price, this one will become automatically generated. I know able to change it. System is going to compute the cost price against the sales price and say, okay, this is discount. That discount in reality is like telling us this is the minimum we can go when we want to give discount during sale. That's just the identification, definition of what we're doing at this point, so that you can't sell your product at a loss. We can set at face value, we can't set at a loss. So when we set that amount, that is the minimum, or the maximum rather, that you can give as discount during sales of that product. That's the purpose of these two columns at this moment. Then the other parameters here are not related to what we're discussing here today, because they are mostly for poultry products. Though for poultry products, whoever is going into production might also need to mention some of this, because products are transformable in poultry. Then these two flag is for hospitality business, whether the product is a kitchen product or is a bar product. Now, the next thing is general ledger. So we're going to start from there today. General ledger. How do we define general ledger for our product? I'm going to take, for example, manufacturing of water. We are manufacturing water, Epsilon Software solution. So I'm going to define whatever has not been defined before now, because I have many systems. I'm going to define production account, the general ledger for production of sachet water, to be precise. So I will say production. What is the group of that product? Like I said, those have been defined before now. For water, in my system now, we have the product group or the group code as 007, all type of products. You might be wondering, what do I mean by group water? Yes, as a manufacturer, I may be manufacturing sachet water, bottled water, dispenser, this dispensable water. All these are three different products as far as the system is concerned, because we might be reporting our income on each of these type of products separately. So when I say product group, grouping them together, they're all water, but then we generate one account for them as product group water. There may be other things I'm manufacturing, but for every water, say, whether it is sachet, whatever, this account is what we warehouse it. And then when the account warehouse it, it means specifically, if I want a report, this code is being used to give me whatever happened on water, either I mentioned two things before for product grouping, in reporting or in accounting. So at this stage, it's accounting. We're saying that for this product group 007, whatever product that falls under this group, their production account should be what I'm defining here now. And this accounting head is where everything about production report to. Everything about production report to this. That's why production account is 9. Everything about production, everything I'm producing will reflect here for production. My production part reflects here. Water specific group reflects here. Other groups of products will reflect on another account that we're going to define, but this is just the process. So this account name will be called production account for water. And then the balance indicator, meaning what should we be seeing in this account? Is it a debit or a credit at any point in time? But when we see something else, it's wrong. So for the purpose of this, that's my own definition of my product I'm defining. My own accounting, the way I want it is that my production account should only be negative, simply because when I produce, at the points of adding it to stock so that we can be selling from stock, then a stock account will be created with the value, while my production account will be debited, meaning that this is the production value I have in my system at a particular point in time, and this is the stock value I'm using. So anytime I have to stock, that account center has to take place, debiting my production account and crediting my stock. So this will be in debit position at every point in time, because when I produce, I'm going to debit my production account and credit my stock account. That is created. Now, the same way we're going to create income account, we're going to create sales account, stock account, income account, if there is suspense, all of them under production. That many has been created in the system, but I don't want to go into the detail now, but this is what we define. We'll now try and see how we manage production. If any account has not been defined, system will refer us to it. We can come back and create it. But we know that we have created production account for product group water. So we leave now. General ledger has been created for that. We now go to where we have production itself. So process under commerce, we are making a production of water, sachet water specifically. So for this product called sachet water, I don't know whether I have it in the system. It's already in the system. Sachet water is already in the system. That's what we okay. We define it in some of the previous video. So this is what has been produced with all the parameters. Let me see. Am I checking modification? I'm using production. Okay, I'm in production. So because it's there, it brought out all the information. So it's not a fresh one. So at this stage, that is whether I can do a fresh registration of another products. Okay, these are the products of the system. Available products defined in the system is this. So I'm going to define a fresh one. If this one has been defined in the system. So I'm defining the system. Okay, maybe since this one is in the system, let me just add this to stock. And I will explain all the tables, because when we want to create this, what we do here, we put the product, we give the name, the quantity that we produced, and so on. So for this product, how many have I produced? Okay, it's even complaining that yes or no to stock. I'm going to stock. The quantity produced is no. So you say, are we adding to stock or not? Okay, that's where we are. Let me say we're adding to stock. That's yes. Then how many? I have to put the quantity, because this one, let's say, I think we didn't put the quantity produced. Let's say we produce 100 bags. And save. Second, you have backdated the stock availability date. Today, 26 August. That's normal calendar date. My system is on 10th August. I will say, okay. Now he has completed transaction for me, generated sequence number. Now asking whether I'm backdating the availability of the product in stock. If yes, press OK to continue. Otherwise, enter the valid date of production. That's my information. Let's see whether it will allow me to save this. Still talking about that. So it has saved it for me. So meaning that now I've been able to produce 100 bags of that water 001. I've been able to add it to stock. Now let's check at this point whether there's an accounting entry generated for this transaction we have done before we continue. Because it means I have my stock now, that number of bags, and I want to make sales. It should be available for me to make sales. Then let's go to whether we have accounting entries generated. Let me send an inquiry whether we have anything like that. Okay, we don't have anything on accounting entry yet. But in any case, we can always check the accounting entry. So let's leave that part and then go to sales. Sales. We have produced, they want to sell. Now on sales, what's the name of the product that we're looking for? I think it's this one, sachet water. Okay, this is not this one. Just for what we created just now. Where's the product? Where is the name of the product? This sachet water. Okay, something like the cut off. That's why it's complaining. It's water 001, but now it's that's water here. So I think we need to take care of that. Okay, let me just propose of demonstration. Let's complete using an existing product that has no issue. When your product has been created, just come here to make sales. Let's say I'm using this. So all training data. So I don't know whether the data is also faulty, but okay, this one came out. So how do you sell? We sell in unit. How many? What you have here is quantity in stock for this product at now, 16. So assuming we are selling 10 out of it, It's not gift, it's not for PR, we're really selling. So any discount? No, we're not giving discount. Today is 10th August. The person is supposed to pay 300 naira because 10 is quantity, selling price is 30. Then how is he paying us? That's what this fee is meant for. Okay, payment mode of the entire use control to say POS. Now, we are now on customer name. Customer number is not entryable because we cannot just generate number manually. So customer name, let's look for the customer that is buying this. Now, this is a new customer because he has charged with that name. We couldn't find that name in the system. So we expect him to put the address of the customer. There you see. This record has been saved. Now, okay, tell us this total amount for now, because this thing is used for multiple, to create multiple record of sales before the person will do the payment. So you come back here, it will gray out the name, generate a number for the customer, and expect us to enter as many products, as many sales as possible before we go to payment details. Let me just use only one because of our time. It's 300 so far, and the guy is paying us 300 as well, because that's the amount supposed to pay us. And then we just do this next customer, and that will complete transaction. Customer do not have any balance, paying the exact amount of the total cost of product purchase. I can let me say, okay, that's all. So at this time, we already have our products sales and also stock updated. So if I want to just show you where we have accounting entries, I think we can check that under reports. Let me see where we put that so that we can just see from the screen. There's no incurred under this maintenance, but let me go to commerce. Let's check the incurred under commerce. Yeah, commerce inquiry, daily sales, daily products, stock inquiry, specific general ledger line, accounting entries. Good, is there? So for this, accounting entries, reference number, that's why it's asking for a specific. Come in. So for a specific reference number for that. Those reference number that I gave us when we save, we can enter it, but I want to see the one that will not ask for reference number, that will give us the entire record. General ledger line. Let's see this one. There's no record for that one. Inquiry can I use it? Specific accounting inquiry. This will expect us to enter specific account. Specific account. Well, we'll manage this accounting entries at least. Normally, I didn't memorize. I don't want to start going to the database to straight reference number. But if I have the number, I just put the reference number here and bring out the record from there. Now, I didn't take note of reference number. In any case, this is just the demo on production. After this, then you can be generating, you can define various reporting for you based on the data in the system and the kind of report that you expect. And that covers production part of Epsilon solution. We'll be bringing another video later where we'll have taken care of the products, and at the same time, we will have taken care of the inquiry, especially general ledger inquiry. Though there is another general ledger inquiry under I think this finance. See this finance. I just want to see whether there is another one where we can see a sample record. Okay, no. I think it's under association. The functional one is under association. Yeah. Look at the calendar association. Yeah. Oh, all these financials. Oh, it's not here. Let me go to expense. Under expense processing, I think we have a report. Let me see if I have expense administration. Okay, let me check the commands I will have here. There's a particular one. I need to rearrange this for convenience, where we can easily see the, okay, let's check this commas. Inquiry. Accounting entries. Okay, this is the same thing. Specific accounting entry. It's the same thing. Daily sales is showing there. Okay, this is daily sales. This is the one. The last sales we just made. The records are huge here. Okay, I think in order not to waste much of our time, let's end the class today here. We'll continue again in another series. Thank you very much for listening.